is a hell for brother man. In every nation in the Caribbean, we suffering down in the Caribbean. And it's all because of stinking oppression, repressive education for a chosen few. So many brothers on the corner, cause no school to go, no work to do, crying sin kids, they crying Nevis, in Antigua, in Dominica, oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone.
Share the live, share the live.
Colonialism went, oh that I know, but oppression never ever let we go. They granted independence few by few, but oppressors never ever left them to. With his imperialistic game plan, he monopolized the land. Now the people of the Caribbean ain't got much food, ain't got much land. He crying Binsha, he back in Grenada, in Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone.
Share the live, share the live.
The thing that hurt me most about oppression is the involvement of we politicians. You both brother to help fight oppression. Brother get in there and join the bandwagon. You oppose the ruling party, you become an enemy, and you could swear to Jah Almighty. That's your destiny, your destiny. They crying NASA, in Bermuda, in Aruba, Martinique, St. Lucia. Oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone. Oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off the bone. Oppressors, leave we alone. Oppressors, come off we bone. Leave we alone. Come off we bone. Right. Oppressors, 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 oppressors.
Yeah, sounds of the man Beckett there. This one is called Oppression. And as usual, you know, we're going to some serious oppression there in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, but more so over there in Queen City, Nevis. We pray the God Almighty will bring some relief to my people there in Queen City, Nevis. I'm JefroyMorrishaw, and I'm coming to you live and direct from the Gaza here in the Boogie Down Bronx. A rainy and cool evening, night there in the Boogie Down Bronx. I understand that there is some cold weather, some snow and sleet and rain and all kind of stuff affecting some 40 plus of the USA, all 40 plus states, including the New York area. So for the next couple of days, we'll be getting some serious rain, ice rain, and that kind of stuff here. So we're gonna have to just pray that we make it through the weekend safely and hope that all is well on my end. Well, this evening, as you guys know, we're scheduled to have our Honorable Prime Minister chatting with us this evening. I don't think I need to report to you guys that they had Parliament today and run very late, just wrapped up a few minutes ago. And I had to take my time out to listen to Parliament because this Parliament today was a special one for me, as it was about the good governance agenda. And those laws very important for us there in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. As you guys know, the former Kool-Aid party there, the tri-party Team Unity Administration, that is what they campaigned on back in 2013, 2014. They was elected in 2015. And for some reason, there was nothing good about them, so they could not find a good governance agenda. But you got to big up the newly elected Labour administration under the leadership of Dr. Joe. Got to big up the PM there, Brother A.G. Garth Wilkin and his crew. They was able to get the integrity in public life and freedom of expression, information, anti-corruption rules and all of these laws and everything in place. So the good governance agenda is now law. Once it's gazetted, things will start rolling. According to the AG this evening in his wrap-up, he said they're not going to just go into place and they just start penalizing folks. The laws will affect some people, and before they get into enforcing the laws, they're going to have a 6-week tutoring session. And I guess various media outlets via leaflet and other medium, they will also be here. The AG will be joining me here to give some updates on that. The Prime Minister and other members of the cabinet will be joining me at some point to discuss these laws and how it will affect the people and the citizens of St. Kitts Nevis. But there are some welcome laws, long overdue. And, you know, it's amazing that we have some people on the opposition bench that had this thing run so late this evening because they looked like that they were doing some kind of filibustering, thinking the lie's not going to go through, talking all kind of nonsense and all kind of mess. My thing is, if they had so much to say, they had 7 years to put all of these things in place, you know. The Labour administration did not have to come and deal with this. They had 7 years to put it in place. That's what they campaign on. But no, they come today and they're grandstanding and they this and that. But anyway, I want to thank them for their contribution because they're in the right position there. Opposition is where they should be because they cannot function in government properly. They look better in the opposition, and I think they function much better in the opposition. I just don't want them to be in the opposition and opposing for opposing sake. I want him to come with good reason to oppose. Because if people want to be fair about everything, you know, this Labour administration was elected just August 6, 2022. So it's just a few days over 6 months. And look at what they have presented. Look at the work they have done. As I said, my good people, I am in observation mode. And I'm here to hold any government foot to the fire. And I appreciate the Prime Minister reminding us this evening. Hold them accountable. Feel free to say what you have to say. And you know, you might not find me come on this program and cuss anyone in government right now, because it's very simple, you know. They are accessible. From the Prime Minister down, this new Labour administration is accessible. They're not like the former administration, the Kool-Aid administration there, the concoction. They come to you and ask for your support. I remember asking the farmer Hag, by the way, condolences to him and his family and the passing of his niece. But the farmer Hag there, when he came to me and said he need my support, I asked him the question, what support you need from me? You was a part of the Labour administration for 18 of the 20 years that Douglas was there. And if Douglas did not throw you out, you would have still be there causing problem. So why should I support you? He tell me he'll do better, he'll do different. He got the country at heart, hold his foot to the fire. And the problem is with the farmer Hag, I didn't even hold his foot. I just hung on the pants foot. And the man, all of a sudden his phone number don't work. He don't return call. He's never available. It took me 2 years waiting for a meeting with the farmer Hag. And when it came to 2022, when the pressure hit him, he's gonna have his office calling me to ask me, can I meet with somebody else about what I want to discuss with him? But he knew what I wanted to discuss with him. He knew what I wanted to discuss with him. The Hag was so dirty, he deactivated my passport, my St. Kitts Nevis passport, amongst a bunch of other people. But I know he picked on me personally because I was challenging him and what he was doing. But when the heat was turned up on him, is when he brutally arrested 3 of our citizens on Independence Day and went into overdrive and have our people tear gas. And I had a problem with that because under the Labour administration, when he was picketing and campaigning, I understand he reached all the way, maybe St. Vincent or someplace, picketing, following the speaker all over the place when the speaker going to and from work. The farmer Hag did all of that. The farmer ministers in the concussion, they did all of that. You heard him spoke today about demonstrating on the road when it was the land for debt swapped. When they swapped land for debt, they was able to walk the street. They was allowed to march. But our innocent people was arrested to stand up on the side of the thing, of the sidewalk there, right by the Anglican church, right there in Church Street. There was locked up, as a matter of fact, I understand a young lady with 2 young kids was forced to spend the weekend locked up because he insisted to make them an example. My boy Shaq and Anivia locked down for a weekend for standing up with a placard. People tear gas. And then the patch-up fella could make ambassador to the UN. While he was here, I tried to reach out to him to let him know my concern. As I have said previously, God bless Brother Soul, because he was the only one that took my call. I even respond to my WhatsApp. I still read his WhatsApp from time to time when he gave me his views and tell me he looked forward to having a conversation with me when I arrived to St. Kitts, amongst other things. But we never had that opportunity, as we know. But the patch-up fella was here, getting paid by taxpayers' money. Hotel and everything where he stayed, the apartment where he stayed, paid by taxpayers' money. while he's on ZIZ and all media outlets cussing people. And when you ask the farmer, by the way, I hear they have a new double B, you know. You know, they say there's a man, they say he's the BBB, the big 3B. Well, I got a new one for you all in Nevis. He's a double B, Baby Brantley. When Baby Brantley was the foreign minister here, right? And the patch-up fella was cussing everybody. He wasn't cussing him yet. You reach out to him to get something done about it. The double B fella there, Baby Brantley, didn't have a problem with the patch-up fella cussing everybody. You know? Only when he started cussing him, then it became a problem. But all of them was the pig in the bag, the pig in the blankets, because I understand they used to be in blankets. Bird of a feather flock together. They used to be in some blankets, wrap up. Someday I go looking at a picture. I remember from back during COVID days with the farmer hag, the farmer deputy, and he looked like some young man hanging out. Wherever there was in a veranda with the wine and the glass. So while poor people had to be locked down and couldn't go out to get some fresh air, they locked down where they is. But even I'm not going to stay along with you guys tonight, you know. I want to apologize still. Apologies in order for coming late, but it was important for me to watch Parliament to the end because I don't want to hear anybody tell me what went on. I want to see what went on. And I want to publicly thank the cabinet, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour cabinet, the Prime Minister and more so Brother Garth Wilkin, and the job they did today to get this good governance agenda going. Great job, guys. You know, and I look forward to being a part of the team that will educate the masses, the general public, and what is going on whenever you guys find the time to come and hang with me. But my good people of St. Kitts Nevis, there's a lot happening out there. I understand condolences to the Doe family. Brother William Doe has taken his flight. I want to say condolences to his family, also a good brethren of mine there, Brother Melvin Melly. I am very saddened. Condolences to the family for Brother Melvin. The King Melly, the Panis, the steel band man there. I really want to say this man, I have learned so much from him. Very quiet, very pleasant. I can recall when the borders was open during the pandemic there back in 2020. He's one of those people that they had at the entrance of the old arrival hall, playing his steel band to welcome folks in. And that's something I never understood. If we are talking about people such as myself who came in and that flight that needed to be in quarantine, why they had masqueraders out on the tarmac jumping around, and why they have Melody in the arrival hall playing steel band. You know, so much thing was done wrong. And that team unity concussion, you know, and it's if it was not so serious, it'll be laughable. When I look at the opposition in Parliament today, the way that they are carrying on and talking, you would think they're part of the government, you know. Baby Mark don't realize that he was a part of the problem, you know. That good governance agenda that should have been passed, he was a part of the problem that should have been passed, you know. But if you listen to them giving their input, you would think it's their first time in Parliament. You would not believe they was there for the last 7 years, you know. This evening, I actually plan to come here and talk about the happenings in Nevis. Like I said, we don't have much time because it's a late hour. And I really want to give it a good go because my thing here is to educate people, you know. You know, last week it was such a mess in Nevis, where we even had elected members, an elected member. This is no joke. An elected member is participating in dragging our citizens' name and character through the modern social media. It's bad enough that character have done some damage to the NRP by not following the policies of the constitution of the NRP. But because people are speaking about it and talking about following procedures, they're on social media dirtying people's name. This is where they come to. And as part of that good governance agenda, you know, as part of that good governance agenda, I want to see somebody write to the governor or the speaker of the house and bring charges against these people. Nobody sitting in public office should be out there on social media tarnishing our citizens' name like that and get away with it. They have done the damage in NRP. You know, last week we tried to educate folks about the process, and they had this big debate. I heard it on Freedom 106.5 FM by the JL. And like I said, I'm not going to problem with JL, you know. JL is a man that I understand him. I understand he's a professional, what he got to do. He's a radio station and is about ratings. But some of these people that talk on these programs, you can't just encourage nonsense and talk for ratings. I tried to explain to the people last Friday and even prior, with all this nonsense that's going on with the young lady there. I understand there was 3 parties that contested the election of December 12, 2022. But only 2 parties made it in the assembly. And those parties were CCM, with the baby Brantley there as the premier, and the NRP in the opposition with the leader, Janice Hodge, as the leader of the NRP, and the other person there as the deputy. And folks arguing about who will give the opposition speech. Well, if the leader of the opposition, in my view, she's the leader of the opposition, she's the leader of the NRP, won her seat, who will naturally make the presentation unless she give up the right. So this big hula about who will speak first and who will get up first, and I'll, Dr. Martin, my cousin, I know you're a sensible person. Sam, I know you're sensible. You know, I understand me boy, G.A. Dwyer Stefan went on the narrative, some regional program and talking in nonsense too. But they had nothing to say prior to that. They did not know Nevis politics enough. They're not getting involved. Because what? All of them over there is secessionists. But the amount of St. Kitts people get into to the Nevis politics, all because it's affecting the NRP. It's really amazing. But tonight is so much things that to talk about. I don't have enough time to speak about it tonight, and it's kind of late. But some things that are really troubling to me, you know, sometime in the week there, or over the weekend, I was awakened by a little video. And the heading of the video was entitled, Fighting at Keon High School. And it looked like it was posted on social media by Bucky got it. And I'm here to say to you, social media activists, you know, when you are going to see kids fighting like that in the street or any place, the time you are going to take to videotape these things to put them on social media, you all need to come up with plans and ideas, separate those kids and find out what they're fighting over. I am here, I am willing to participate in the education and development of these kids. I am willing to do my part to help with the development of these kids, because when I'm going to look at that young man, the way that he was kicking that little girl, and even when she hit the ground, the way he was aggressively over her, beating and her, kicking on her, it pained my heart. I got a little baby girl here, just turned 5. And I would hate to know that I see anybody putting their hand on iron, because that is where my freedom will end. So when we're going to have those crowd of people standing around and watching this young man pouncing on this young lady, I got a serious, serious problem with that. A very serious problem with what is taking place there. So there's so much things to deal with down there that is moving. Some years back, I went to Dominica with a cricket team. And those guys invited me to a school, an all-girls school, to speak to them and give them some pep and talk to them about my experience and stuff like that. We presented some cricket gears and everything. And I understand that school is doing very well. They now has a female team in that school. And yes, continue to appreciate the work that we did. The JefroyMorrishaw Sports Club will be heading down to St. Kitts Nevis on a little tour. And as I said previously, we have always been hosted by the Police Sports Club. This year, we're going to also have the St. Kitts Cricket Association as part of that. And I got to reach out to the dancing commissioner, because he's my contact in St. Kitts Nevis, and put something in place where we can go across to the Cairn High School and have a little presentation and conversation with the kids there and see what we can do, see what really is going on at that school. Also want to do something at the Sandy Point High School where I went, and hopefully something in the St. Paul's Primary School where we can contribute. There's people here who's willing to contribute to these kids wherever they can. So it's not a problem for folks to contribute. That is something that I know, but it's just that initiative. So I look forward to my trip down to the Federation and continue to do whatever we can. Another thing I saw, another video clip that was sent to me, is some young lady beating in a car, and the driver of that car driving off with the lady, trying to stop the car, whatever she was doing. I always tell people, I know women have some lovely behind. I love to see them. As a matter of fact, my grandfather used to tell me, "Why you always watching woman behind if I never come out back there?" I tell him, "Don't worry, it's a nice view." We used to call them bumper. But those bumpers, they don't build those kind of cars anymore. So if you got a problem, ladies and gents, you all have to control yourself better than that, in public. And for the people that out there seeing these things happening and quick to put them on social media, man, we could use our social media for better things to promote our federation. You understand? We could do better with our smartphones to promote our federation and our people. Ease up on that, man. We do not know what went on with those 2 young people. Instead of out there shooting these things across the globe, find out what's going on, see how you can help. I know there's some social issues in the federation. That is why when I'm in the federation, I try to have conversation with folks. But in the federation, how people is, As soon as you talk to a young lady, you're there with them. You can't talk to them about trying to find out what they're dealing with, how the kids coming along, whether they have kids, whatever the needs are, if you could help them with something. Once you talk to them, you're there with them. And this is one of the problems we have home. And the young man, them, when I speak to them, they basically once you give them a $20, they don't want a 20 easy no more, They're taxing your US now because that is what they want. As soon as you try to talk to them about their life and whatever, they start cussing you. There's a young fella in Bastille there over down by the ferry terminal. He was a big Unity supporter. But every time he see me, he need a 5, he need a drink, he need this, he need that. And during the height of the campaign in 2022, when I was in the Federation, the gentleman came to me asking me for some money. I said to him, man, go ask your Unity people then. And the man, up till today, have me to kill. I was joking, I was going to give him the funds he asked for. But I was just trying to say to him, you're supporting the farmer having his nonsense. And them got money to give away. Me not got no money to give away. They're giving money in t-shirt and all kind of stuff. Wrap up is your people and you're supporting. Go check them out. You know. So at the end of the day, we got some serious issues there in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis that all hands have to be on deck. Like I said, my weekend was a very sad weekend because all I got was sad news. I mean, after going to my cousin their funeral, I leave their funeral on Friday. And you know something, for your folks who had an opportunity to look at the live stream I did for Leave Your Funeral, I'm sure you all heard the pastor preaching about politicians and their wicked ways. And if you had not looked at the stream, look at it. I enjoyed that sermon so much because nobody gonna tell me that that pastor didn't visit Nevis. Because what he was preaching about is what happening in Nevis, the moral bankruptcy. And you all know that there's some morally bankrupt, they did not know what they were singing about. But now that I break it down and explain it to them, they say, stop play the song. I don't want the song play no more. And them send me the song to play now. They sent me the song last year, asked me to push the song for them. But as soon as I break down to them what is moral bankruptcy, they said, don't play no more. Stop playing the song. I did not know that's what the song saying. So me don't want to hear the song no more on your program. Stop playing it. And you know something? Like my boy Adrian Berry say, you know. Adrian said, well, how the man could stop you from playing the best song? It's the best song. I was calling it nonsense because of who's singing it. But when I listen to it lyrically, moral bankruptcy is really playing out what transpired during the Team Unity administration and what is happening in Nevis. Because, folks, if we are serious, you know, if we're really serious, and this is why I don't understand why them guys today in the opposition is being so laughy and joking around when the government side is speaking. Because when the Prime Minister and the AG speaks about them fake marriages in the Federation, it's not just about St. Kitts, you know. Nevis is part of it. The recently election that passed, this is why I'm saying that this matter that is before the court, people thinking about strikeout and strikeout. Well, if they want to strike out, they strike out. Because at the end of the day, the other person, they don't strike out NRP unless fresh election call, NRP gonna be in their position for a couple of months, a couple of years. And I could work with that. You know, the damage is done, I could work with that. But the reality of the day is that those fake marriages that the Prime Minister speaks about and the AG speaks about, I believe is even more of that in Nevis than St. Kitts. Because the little bar, the evening when I saw them over at the Wally Pier in the operation, in the what you call it there, the CCM garbs, you know, they had the blue shirts with the logo, well put together. When they're moving these people, you know, when you come off the boat, there's a little bar down the road there, you know, the Spanish lady. I wonder what they call her. I know the lady well, you know. I know the lady well because when I used to drink, I used to stop there and have a drink when I get off the boat while I'm waiting on my partner, Mikey Slack. You know, Mikey Slack used to like hang out in the place there, so I used to look around there for him. So when they do the evaluation and check, I guarantee you, they're going to find some of those same people with the fake marriages voted in the last election there. The vote in the August 6th federal election and the vote in the December 12th NIA election. Here she named Trailer. That's the name of the lady. A Spanish lady named Trailer. We went by the bar. It's a whole gang of people that had in the bar. And there's another one around the corner there, close to where there's a bar down there now. I think the farmer speaker involved with that one. Close to where Sunshine is. And she had the name with the list for them. You know. People think JefroyMorrishaw went down to Nevis to waste time. There's a whole ton of things I discovered and uncovered down there while I was in Nevis, you know. A lot of them fake marriages took place right there in Nevis. People come in with their thing. There's a list that they had. They come in, they just collect the documents. Some of them never even been to St. Kitts before. I remember my girl was at RLB. She went down there for something, and they sent me a little video clip of some of them coming in, like the Prime Minister said. When some of them marriage taking place, the minister tell them to kiss. They say, no kiss, no kiss, no kiss. Oh, my mama, my grandmama Clemmy. Oh my God. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm sure you all heard. I have the clip here. I'm not even going to play that today because I ain't going to waste my time take a part of this thing. But my boy, dear brother Troy, doing his best. I like Troy, you know. I like my boy Troy. If you look at what had transpired over there in Nevis and Monday and Tuesday, Baby Mark make his presentation on Monday and they cut out the rest of the day. They come back Tuesday, you know. And my girl, the Honorable Janice Daniel Hodge, she did she thing. When I was 45, 50 minutes, I don't know, but I know she did she thing. She hit the points where Baby Brantley spoke about. And it looked to me that then people like to hear themselves talk. You understand? Because their speech is like they're filibustering, they're killing time, they're talking, but there's really nothing. There's more fat than Marby, as they would say. He just talking, but nothing substantial, just to burn time. And my girl Janice went in there very calm and cool and executed her speech and dealt with the issues in no time because there was nothing to really stop there and talk for 2 hours about. He did not say anything that resolved you to speak for 2 hours. So my girl Janice went in there and did she did. Congratulations to Sister Janice Daniel Hodge and her maiden speech, right? But when the other gentlemen, I don't want to have to attack them, but it looked like there is a skit. I remember going to school down in St. Paul's, the primary school. They used to have us in skit. I was coward. But there was a skit we have there where this girl, she passed away now, my good schoolmate, Sister Carol Francis, they call her Trailer. She was Mary and I was Joseph. Right? So the CCMC, they have a skit where they get the script and they got to go up there and play the part. Everybody seems to be acting like the Baby Brantley. And these young people, I think they got potential. They could be good politicians and good leaders of Nevis, but they need to adjust their attitude. Do not have that kind of Trump-like attitude, right? I'm very disappointed in them because when Brother Evelyn go up there as an elderly man, I have respect for Brother Evelyn. I like him as a person. But when he go up there and try to belittle Janice with her speech, that was a no-no for me. So I'm hoping when I get to Nevis, St. Kitts, whenever I run into Brother Evelyn, that we could have a conversation. Because, you know, this politician, you know, they seems to forget that they work for us. They are public servants. They are public figure. So any national, any citizen of St. Kitts Nevis have the right to stop them and ask them a question and have a conversation with them, you know. They don't act like they don't have to talk to you, but they have to speak to you because you're paying them. So whenever I get the opportunity to speak to Brother Evelyn, I need to have a conversation with him and tell him, simmer down. Use his leader phrase that he used from Douglas. Simmer down. Give respect to the Honorable Sister Honorable Janice Daniel Hatch. And I will respect you. If you are going to continue to disrespect people like that, you are going to come like you are a leader, you are going to be on my list. Whenever he stopped disrespecting the citizens and the people of St. Kitts Nevis, home and abroad, then I would ease up on him. Because like I said, I love the gentleman as a person. I don't hate him as a person. David Brantley have a problem in talking to people. He have no respect for women. He have no respect for man or God. And until he starts respecting people, I'm going to be there to remind him. I'm not playing no clips tonight, you know. Like I said, I am just dropping it like it is because I don't want to stay too long with you tonight. Right? But I have to come and at least say good night to your folks because I know many people been messaging me and calling me, want to know what's going on and whatever. And at the end of the day, I want to say good night to my sister, dear sister Cicely Brown. How you doing? Everything good with you? Want to big up my boy, the brother Aston Williams. How you doing, brother? How is Laura? How is them boys? Francis, Dams, Hendrickson, and the crew. You know. Sister Tanya Powell, how you doing? Everything good with you? Telka Bartlett, Evan Jeffers. I mean, it should be after midnight in England. Yvonne, what are you doing now? What time is it in England? There's a Skeet. Adele McLeodon, how are you doing? Loretta Queely Clark, how are you doing? Well, Jeff Pemberton, how about my girl here? Patricia Bartlett, the man who has Sister J.D. Keynes, how are you guys doing? The man, where's Carbo? My brother Carbo. The Carbo, I hope you're online. If you're online, just drop your business place there, Carbo's place there in the chat. Looking forward to coming and have some beautiful goat water and fish and green banana in the not too distant future. Hope all is well with you. Delicious Nicholas Brown, how are you doing? Everything good? Are you on the door? Tanya Powell, Sandrine Lewis Daly, how are you doing? Want to pick up my boy, the brother Carlisle Powell. How about the man Kelvin Daly and the man the Tulu? Everything good with you guys? Look forward to hearing your guys' broadcast tomorrow evening. Want to pick up my girl, the Lioness Charles. How are you doing, Sister Lioness? My girl's sister, Hazel Claxton, Naomi Ward, Joseph Buchanan Glassford. How are you doing? Everything good with you? I also want to pick up my girl, the Sister Rosita Pontin. How is my girl, Erica? Everything good with you guys? Sister Beverly Morrishaw, how are you doing? Good evening. My mascot, dear Sister Dorothy Allen. Gwyneth Morrishaw. My girl here, my baby girl, she and I have been hanging for the last couple of days. Baby girl is doing nice and coming around lovely. How about Gigi Williams Keith? Everything good with you? How about my girl, the Gloria Woods? How are you doing? Everything good? Boy, what's fun thing? I cannot keep up with these names. Brother Eustace Hendrickson, how are you doing? How is folks there in the Texas area? Everything good on your end? How is the weather treating you all there? Sister Paul Francis, the man Ambassador Queely, Jetty Taylor. Everything good with you? Want to big up my boy, the brother J. Dwyer fan Sam Conda, the man Larry Vaughan, Dr. Martin, the man Ivor there. Everything good to you, Ivor McMahon, the Big Lice, Damien Maynard. Everything good with you guys? Man, Patrice Nesbitt. Oh, by the way, before I get too deep and forget about this, I know many of you been asking about the Honorable Joseph Parry, and I should get him online. You all want to know why he's so quiet and stuff like that. Well, I sent Brother Parry a message there over the weekend, and he reached out to me very quickly, and we had a good conversation. I am not going to tell you what our conversation was because he will be joining me at some point. Let him speak for himself. But I have enough respect for the man, the brother Joseph Parry. And he gave me permission to let you folks know that he's not currently at home. He's not in Nevis. He's actually in the US seeking some medical attention. He had some minor surgery. He's recuperating fine. So as soon as he's up to it, he will definitely come and have a conversation with you guys. But I will say this much. Brother Parry understands the NRP Constitution and the St. Kitts Nevis Constitution, and we're on the same page in terms of process. Now, when it comes to a situation, there's many blames that can go around with stuff. But for some reason, some folks seems to be pointing the blame in the wrong direction. I know from my little understanding reading the Constitution for NRP, the Constitution of St. Kitts Nevis, and what that young lady has been doing. There is no reining her in, whatever her ambitions and her mission, there is nobody that could speak to the young lady. So, you know, when you crash land, you just crash land. That is what it is. That she has a crash landing. In my view, I don't think the Nevis people is that crazy to go and elect someone like that again. So wherever that matter ends up, she made it official on Monday that she is sitting as an independent in the NIA. And that is cool. That is your choice. But just keep in mind that your campaign and got support for that seat from the NRP party. You're on an NRP ticket. So when you talk about morals and integrity and all this kind of stuff, if you got all of that, resign. If you're so morally correct and you think you're so bad, you win your seat on your own, nobody in NRP help you, nobody like you, resign and run. Resign and let them have a by-election and win that seat on your own. That's what you need to do. That is what you need to do. Last week, one of our fellow citizens calling the 2020 vision and was giving his views. And you choose to malign the gentleman all over social media on the weekend. You as a sitting parliamentarian should not be doing those things. You should be discouraging those things, not encouraging them and doing them yourself. One of your operatives send me some pictures, and that's what you're sending me this for. What do you all expect to benefit out of this? The individual not running for office, the individual not running against you? Why you want to go and destroy these people? I mean, folks have to point fingers, you know. And I think they say the good book. If it's not the good book, the Lord said, those without sin pass the first stone. I don't think there's anyone of us out there throughout our life have not done something that we wish we had never done or turn out to be against the rules of law. We have offended somebody in some way or some fashion. So if someone make a mistake in their life and they went through the process and they have paid their price and rehabilitate and are now being good citizen, doing well for community, why you want to go and drag their name to the mud? Doing that not going to benefit you anything. You're not going to change the status quo. I grew up there in St. Paul's, you know. I grew up there in St. Paul's, and I can tell you all this. You know why I could have patience with a lot of stuff? All of these bad boys are ghetto boys you hear them talk about. I was heading down that road, you know. I was heading down that road because there was no other option. I didn't see no other option for me. When I about to finish school. I'm in high school in Sandy Point. All I could have seen was I go to the mountain with my grandfather to cut bracing stick and bamboo cane. Come back, I go to the beach. And we go fishing, push down the boat. We go fishing, come back, pull up the boat, sell fish in the village. That's the life I saw for me in St. Kitts. There's a gentleman by the name of Brown used to have a shop down on the main road. He took me under his wings. I used to bake with him, me and a couple of other guys. Another couple guys and I. $4 a day we make to bake a bag of flour. $4 we get for the day to bake a bag of flour for bread when you sell. And those days, you see people smoking cigarettes, and you think smoking a cigarette, you are a big man. My first money I get that I could afford to buy a pack of 3-5, you know. I don't know if you all remember the 3-5 them. They had the 20 pack and the 10 pack. I buy me pack of 3-5 and walking out with 3-5 in my pocket. Well, it didn't take me long to realize that that was not for me. When my mother picked me up on the 18th of December, 1980, and took me out of St. Kitts, it made my life turn around. If I had stayed in St. Kitts, I don't know if I would have been alive today because of the road that we're heading down. I know in St. Kitts, you got bus drivers, school teachers, ministers, doctors, lawyers, bankers, messing with the young girls, the underage. I know of people that get caught with underage girls, and the family had to make up and put up thousands of dollars to save them from going to jail. If they was in North America, and that happened, their parents would not be able to make up no case. The government, the authorities, whether the family want to push the case or not, those underage kids or boys, the government will push the case. And you will end up on the list of a predator. That is a fact. There are many predators in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Many. In government, in the police force, in teaching, everything. There are many predators. But they sit on their high horse because nobody lock them up. Or they get the case make up and they look down on poor people. If I was one of them hot boys that people think I was, there are many young girls run behind me when I used to go to St. Kitts, hanging out. But I was not about doing them things. I would prefer talk to them about their life and try to get them on the right thing. I have a good friend named Vira, you know. There was a year I had imagination brass from the Virgin Islands. I had them at the Conch Shell in Nevis, and I had them at the Jay's place in St. Kitts. And I remember the next morning after I dropped them guys to the airport, she called me and she said, "I'm proud of you." I said, "What are you proud of me for?" She said, "I'm just proud of you. There was a conversation here in the office and they say you don't like your thing dirty." I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Well, the girls them said that all the bandman them had a girl to go home with, and people want to train and study them. So you look like you don't want your thing dirty." And you know something? At first, I was kind of confused what she's talking about. But in the end, I'm glad I didn't want me thing dirty. Because if I dirty me thing, I might have got a couple of young kids running around in St. Kitts. I catch some kind of disease, you understand? So I'm glad I didn't dirty up me thing when I was there. But a lot of these people who like to point fingers, they do not know the history, they don't know the facts. You know. There's a lot of information that came to me since I've been here doing this program for the last 2 years. A lot of these people that out there, the markup fella, the patch up fella, the past ain't pretty, you know. Their life track, their track record through life ain't pretty, you know. But I'm not going to come here and dump their business on social media. If they mess with the DJ, if they mess with the DJ, then you always see me water walk a pumpkin belly. You all remember the sacco, you know. I'm not going to bring all your business on social media, because if I bring all your business on social media, they're going to be innocent people get caught in the web. And I'm not here to hurt. I'm here to educate and to be educated. Right? That is what I am here for. To educate and to be educated. One time I run it, the first time I met my partner, Chilston Francis, you know, and I love him from that. He was on a boat ride, somebody messed with him, you know. And Chilston really put them in the place, you know. And I look at it and I just laugh to myself. I said, they know who they're messing with, you know. Whenever they want to mess with me, you know, tell them, come. They want to challenge me publicly, come. This is what this is about. No run from me. Invite me to their program, because they got program, they say. Or they could come to mine. Let's talk. If you want to talk things, let's talk things. Because blow for blow, point for point. I know my past and my present and my child, that things I have done all their life. And the gentleman that you all dragging all over social media all weekend, I had dealings with a gentleman from St. Kitts to the Virgin Islands to Florida and present. You can't find a nicer person. You cannot find a nicer person. So for you all to choose to go and did what you all did over the weekend, what did it benefit you all? The weekend done. Whatever went on in this gentleman's life, he already went through the process. He rehabilitated. He's on a good journey. He's going to be okay. So I ask you all, please, you all are elected to manage the country, do whatever you all was elected to do. Whether you're in government or opposition, you could still do things. Because some people think they have to be in government to do something for the people who elect them. You can be in opposition and start little programs and do things within your district to help the community, you know. Them kids that are fighting in Keon, I don't want to call nobody name, because you look like people when you call the name, they take it the wrong way. But we have people in Keon, Green Valley, both home and abroad, that should be able to contribute to whatever the social issues are in the Keon area or in the Keon schools, you know. Instead of going home just for music festival or for carnival or for Black Sun or for White Sun or whatever, and enjoy yourself for 2 weeks and leave, or go home and vote in election and run out the next day. This is not what you all should be doing, you know. These youths are our future, you know. Many of those young ladies and young men in those schools could very well become prime ministers and doctors and lawyers, you know. I listen to many of these people who have arrived, have benefited from government, have benefited from people, and they still want more. They're only thinking about themselves, not these kids. We can do better. We can do better. We got men and women teachers taking advantage of school kids home. Men and women teachers taking advantage of school kids home. This fight, whatever that fight was about in Keon, it really sat on me all weekend. It sat on me all weekend because I couldn't understand. I could not understand what was going on, you know. And at the end of the day, I pray that God Almighty will wake up and help us, you know. I was thinking about Montserrat this weekend, you know, with everything that Montserrat went through with the volcano and stuff like that and whatever. And I decided, you know, I'm going to go into my archives because I was looking at something on social media with my boy, the brother Laser. I don't know how many of you would know Laser, but Laser is one of those guys that put himself in them box and battle and whatever he does to wind up himself like a little snake and going and do hitting them. And he's crying out for help. Crying out for help in Montserrat. So I said tonight, for the Montserrat crew that I know listen, Sonia, Rachel, and all you guys in Montserrat that listen to this program, I'm going to drop this tribute to you guys from the boy, the brother David Waddard. Stand by. Yes, that's the song of the man, David Rudder, speaking about Montserrat. You know, over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the things, what's going on in the Federation, and why some people, such as Dwyer Astafan and Sam and them, who was a part of Parliament in the past, are out there not saying the things that we think they should say and talk the right things instead of trying to blame Janice. Everything is Janice, Janice NRP. They cannot seem to see that this individual is who trying to shift the goalpost. Well, last week, someone on one of the link, I guess you online, you know who you is, so I'm not going to call your name. But there was a response to my question. It says, DJ, Sam Kanda and Dwyer, like myself, I'm sure, have not forgotten. It was NRP that consciously joined with PAM in 1980 to bring down the government, turn the country upside down, and from which, to this day, the country has not fully recovered. Well, if somebody talking about NRP joining PAM back in 1980, we're talking about some 42, 43 years ago, 40 something years ago. And I'm pretty sure the people who leading NRP today were not there at the time at the helm 43 years ago. I doubt if anybody who is currently in the NRP executive might have been there, other than maybe the chairman, brother Hensley Daniel. But if in fact, let's just say in fact, Sam and Dwyer and you, the individual, had an issue with NRP joining with the former PAM administration to change government. Well, that's 40 something years ago. The recent federal election that just took place, CCM, under the leadership of Baby Brantley, joined with PAM, you know. CCM, under the just concluded federal government election on August 6th, joined with PAM and campaigned against Labour. But right now in Parliament, it looks like Sean is sat in a corner by himself and Baby Brantley and his team just hugging up Labour. Hugging up for the supper. And the knees begging Dr. Joe, please. So I don't know where you all get this double standard from. So if all you want to crucify the party named NRP for joining with PAM back in 1980, how come you are not crucifying CCM for teaming up with PAM? They said there was the real unity. You all forget that? And you could go back to the 90s when there was the impasse of the election, when it was 4-4 seat in St. Kitts. My good partner, brother Amway at the time, say he stayed neutral. He's not getting into St. Kitts Nevis business. That CCM said they was not getting in St. Kitts Nevis business. They had to go back to the polls. In 1995, Labour get another chance again. I found out later, whatever went on between Douglas and Brantley, I'm sorry, Douglas and Amway had no love for Dougie. He have spoken to me about how he feel about Dougie. So he had no love for Dougie. I don't know if it was about the Labour Party more so than Dougie. Because if you listen to our only national living hero, you know, his speech last August, he come on a Sunday evening just before the election, you know, and he said he know the farmer hag was no good for St. Kitts Nevis. But he had to go along with the program because they needed him to get rid of Douglas. So mashing up the country for them was more important than leaving Douglas there as Prime Minister. These are the things that we're dealing with, and you all want to make that make sense. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. You're holding on, if this is what the case is with the NRP, if this is the reality of the things, you're holding on to a 40-something-year-old grudge that NRP joined with PAM. But you don't have a problem with CCM campaigning with PAM against the Labour administration less than 7 months ago, less than 8 months ago. Let's just suppose the prediction that Baby Brantley had, that PAM will bring in at least 3 seats, and he guaranteed to bring all 3 from Nevis. Let's just suppose that prediction had taken place. Could you all imagine what kind of federation we will have today? Just let it sink in for a minute. Just let it sink in for a minute. If Baby Brantley was successful with this prediction, that PAM going to bring at least 3 seats in St. Kitts, and he's going to bring down 3 and form the government, could you imagine what kind of situation St. Kitts Nevis will be in today as we speak? You all are convenient thinkers. You all think about what's beneficial to you all individually. Our motto is country above self. When are we going to start thinking about the country, about the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis? Put our politics aside for a minute. Give the Labour government an opportunity and your support to put the country back on track. There's millions of dollars missing, you know. Millions of dollars missing. And nobody wants to answer to it. So the AG is out there working on his job that he was assigned to do, the good governance agenda. And he said he's going to hold the foot to the fire and he's going to do what he needs to do. What they do? Attack the AG, trying to chop smoke screen. Well, that ain't going to stop the AG from what he's doing, you know. And I'm going to stay on the AG to make sure he continue those investigations, you know, because people have been saying for years, every government change is the same story. Nobody been held accountable. We hear all this rhetoric during campaign, and when the campaign is over, nobody been held accountable. Somebody gonna be held accountable this time around. Somebody will be held accountable this time around. They're talking about AG did not pay nanny social and whatever. That is a private matter with AG and Social Security. They're going to deal with that matter there. Whatever that is, I think the AG know what he needs to do. I am focusing on the good governance agenda that is on the table, that was put into law today, that will be gazetted shortly. And let's start digging to see where the skeletons are in St. Kitts and Nevis from a federal perspective. One way or the other, we're going to find out what happened in Nevis with the federal dollars that went up there. One way or the other, the unfinished hospital that they claim, they tried to fool people that it was ready to open before the election. It ain't going to open in 2023. They paint the outside. If you listen to the baby fella, Baby Brantley, in his speech, he himself confessed that they beautify the outside of the building. What they got to do, plastering on the inside and tile work and putting in this and putting in that. But he wasn't saying that during the campaign. During the campaign, he wasn't saying that. During the campaign, he gave the impression that the place is ready to go. I understand Miss Hazel Brandy, former health minister, She gave report about some $14 million spent on the hospital. The hospital still was under budgeted and whatever. Well, the new health minister just reported, I think she said a 6 or 8 million spent, nothing goes on, no 14 million. But who are we supposed to listen to? Who is telling the truth? Is it Miss Hazel Brandy telling the truth? Or the young lady? The bottom line is we know that the hospital has been, the funds has been overrun. The time of completion is way past due. And in no time in sight that they could tell us it's going to be completed. There's no closing date. You know, when you're flying from St. Kitts to Nevis, they say ETA, estimated time of arrival. Well, I guess over there is ETF. Nobody knows when you're going to finish. No estimated time to finish. It's a piecemeal thing. It's a piecemeal thing over there. My good people, the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis, I know, without any doubt, is in good hands with the Prime Minister, Dr. Joe, and his team to do what they need to do. My concern, though, is what's taking place in Nevis. And I look forward to the opportunity to get stuff uncovered and get Nevis on the right track. You know. This evening, I did not even know today is Ash Wednesday. So I want to thank my boy, J. Dwyer Astafan, for reminding me that this is Ash Wednesday. I remember back in the days where my grandfather used to make me go and get me ashes on my forehead and them kind of thing. They still didn't understand what that was about, but what can I say? The situation is, I know some of you don't like to hear my boy J.A. Dwyer Astafan with his commentary, but I think his commentary for today, word playing. Even if he cussing me in there, that's fine. I love my boy. I love how he does present himself. And I think it's freedom of speech for everyone. But there's some really serious food for thought with the things that Dwyer is speaking about. So, Brother Dwyer, I have a problem laying on your mouth, man. I good. You and I good. We ain't gonna fall out because of nothing. Because just like you're an adult to speak your mind and call it how you see it, it's the same way I'm gonna speak your mind and call it how I see it. You almost practice what you preach, right? Just practice what you all preach and we're good. So let me drop this clip, folks. I'm gonna come back to you. The Honorable J.A. Dwyer Astafan commentary for today, Wednesday, 22nd February 2022. Stand by.
Greetings. Given that this is Ash Wednesday, Lent is now beginning, I think it is fitting to maybe present you with a philosophical, spiritual type of commentary today. An ancient African proverb states that where there is love, there is no darkness. In other words, love is light. Then we read in the Christian Bible, whose books were written long after African civilizations had been established, that God is light, and in him there is no darkness. So if love is light and God is light, then it follows that God is love and love is God, which is exactly what we read in the book of John, who tells us that he who dwelleth in love dwelleth also in God, for God is love. And he that loveth not knoweth not God, because God is love. Then we are also taught that we must love our neighbor as we love ourselves. We must be our brother's keeper. We must do unto others as we would have them do unto us, etc. And of course, perhaps one of the best known African proverbs, it takes a village to raise a child. But it's not only African proverbs and Christian teachings that call on us to love and to look out for each other. It's also every other religious or spiritual teaching known to man. So why all of this emphasis on love and caring for each other? For me, the answer is simple. Love puts us in harmony with Mother Nature, with God, and with each other, whether as individuals or communities or nations. Love and harmony prevent violence and destruction, and they increase our chances of survival and sustainability as human beings and as a planet. Love and harmony make for a better and happier existence between individuals and nations. Yes, love and harmony are mankind's and the planet's best survival tools. Now, by virtue of our declared superior intelligence among all of God's creatures, we have been charged with the task of taking care of each other and of the planet. And our ancestors, in their inspiration and wisdom, gave us the best tool to perform this task, the tool of love. So we have the intelligence and we have the tool for peaceful, productive, harmonious, and happy lives. But we also have the choice whether to make the best of it or to make a mess of it. The tools are available. Will we use the tools well or won't we? Have we used the tools of love and harmony well, as counseled by the ancestors and by biblical and other teachings? Or have we not? Now, living in love and harmony does not mean that we cannot be materially well off. To the contrary, it means that we can all enjoy a better quality of life for these short 70, or a few more or a few less years that are allotted to us as part of the life energy of the planet. Yet with the gift of life, and that is a great start, life, and with this great opportunity to live love-filled, harmonious and happy lives, being our brother's keeper, treating each other as we would want ourselves to be treated, living and letting others live, and all of that other good stuff. I think the harsh truth is that mankind has failed miserably. Too many of us have chosen to be like the warlike and violent Cain, and not enough of us have chosen to be like his peaceful brother and murder victim Abel. Not that you put your neck out to be murdered, but too many of us are like Cain, aggressive, murderous, playing God, and not enough of us are humble and harmonious and rested and calm souls. We assign to ourselves the power and authority to determine who live and how they live, and who die and how they die. We do that. With the foundations that were laid for us, we've spat upon the foundation and now want to decide who live and who die, acting as if we are God and acting as a very vicious God. Too many of us who play as if we are God do not treat our fellow man and woman as if they, like us, are equally God's children. They treat each other with disdain, with disrespect, with unkindness and cruelty. They take control of the material resources of the earth. They take control of the politicians, many of whom seek to take control of the people, and whether directly or indirectly through their puppets in politics. These people who are playing God and who want to control the material resources of the earth and its people take control of the way we work, of the way we think, of the way we behave, of the way we eat, of how we spend and live our lives. And they brainwash us deep, deep down into our minds. They use the media to mislead and fool people and create false realities. They use the media to divide people. They create friction at individual, community, national and international level, and then sell you the guns to kill each other, sell you the food to poison your bodies so that you could spend money on medicine and other things. Love? There's no love in that. Love for money. In other words, we live in a world today of orchestrated strife, in a world which has been and continues to be guided away from the fundamentals for survival and for sustainable success. We live in a world where the world's resources and people get plundered and pillaged, while the few greedy creatures in private and public life become richer and more powerful. The gap widens because we are not governed, and we do not govern ourselves on the principles of love and harmony. This is not progress. This is putting us on a slippery slope to destruction. When school children are fighting each other viciously and in school uniforms and in school, then the education is of little or no value to them. And clearly, they have been denied the fundamental instructions for living. Otherwise, they wouldn't behave that way. When young men in their frustration, in their rage, and social and psychological underdevelopment, products of toxic homes, which are inhabited by overburdened and overwhelmed and underprepared mothers, and largely in the absence of fathers. This is punctuated by the absence of the fathers in the upbringing of these children. And when these young products of a deficient social and economic system, when they go about shooting each other down and doing so openly and brazenly, when all of these things are happening, you know that with each and every such event, the corpse of a spiritually and morally dead society gets lowered deeper and deeper into the grave of disgrace. When countries and tribes in Africa and elsewhere are encouraged to turn against each other and where they are sold guns to wipe out each other so that the plunderers can make money in the process, wealth out of strife and conflict, that's not running things on the basis of love and harmony. They're moving to steal more resources as you're fighting each other. Whether you are in the Republic of Congo or Guinea-Bissau or Rwanda or Trinidad or Guyana or St. Kitts, it's the same game. International greed coupling with local greed and creating for the people more need and depravity because they try to fill you with false hope and false trappings and entertain you. Entertain the brutes is what one of them said hundreds of years ago. When all of this happens in Europe, where tribes are set against each other and innocents getting killed and towns getting blown away, as is happening in the Ukraine now, Russia and the Ukraine, fighting down, killing down each other. And you can find conflicts all over the world. People are making profits out of these conflicts. Some of them don't have enough land, they want more. And when they get more, it is still not enough. Look at what Israel is doing to the Arabs in that country, in Palestine. They want it all because they say God gave it to them. I didn't know God had special people, not the God that I worship. Do you think that the poor people of Ukraine and Russia and neighboring countries have anything to gain out of this war? Do you think that the rich people in those countries are dying in the battlefield or getting bombed into oblivion in their plush apartments in Kyiv or Moscow? These people don't give a damn about the story of the rich man in the Bible having difficulty going to heaven, more difficulty than a camel passing through the eye of a needle. They don't give a damn about that story. They're living now for now. They can't be bothered with the consequences. In fact, they really can't. They want their heaven here and now, and they want to be God here and now. They don't care if you're killed, literally or otherwise. In fact, they prosper from it. And one way in which the powerful have shaped our minds into foolishness, into divisiveness and destruction, is with modern technology. Your tablet and your cell phone are your friend and your entertainment. You spend hours upon hours on your devices with your friends, the tablet and the cell phone, rather than taking a little time out to talk with real human beings face to face and learning from your elders. These devices mean more to you than people. They are your primary social contact, having replaced flesh and blood to a large extent. It is if the new spiritual teaching is that we must love our tablet as we love ourselves. We must do unto our smartphone as we would have it do unto us. We must fasten our minds to the filth that comes our way on social media and in the mainstream media also, especially from the north. And as we do all of this foolishness, the few are making more and more money out of us, spending money you don't need, buying things you can't afford, confusing what you want with what you need. So your priorities are wrong because the fundamental lessons of life preached by the ancestors and the Bible and every other religious book of instruction are of no use or of no interest to too many of us who live in today's world. And morals and ethics mean nothing to us. We are shallow and we live in the moment. We do not hesitate to act immorally or illegally to get what we want. Now, of course, I'm not speaking about all of us, but too many of us. The biblical caution that it is harder for a rich man to enter heaven than it is for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle does not apply only to the rich and the plunderers, It applies to the poor who are plundered and played, but they have adopted the mentality of the rich. When you see a poor man adopts the mentality of a lifestyle and a standard that are beyond his means, he's looking for trouble. But more and more of us are materialistic. We live for what we can see and touch and hear and feel. We're not spiritual. We're not meditative. We're not deep. And this is where much of humanity is today. As I said, the smart device has become human for us, and humans have become relegated to be used however we can use each other. Friendships are shallow and brittle, and we turn on each other in a flash. We mimic the violence and the foolishness that we see on the media, borrowing foolishness and destructive behavior from other cultures, as if we have none of our own, and no dignity and pride in what and who we are. We have become brutes, and brutishness never has a happy ending. In this case, if we allow this brutishness to prevail, our society will collapse, and the planet which supports life for all of us will itself be destroyed. And all, the rich, the wannabes, the hurry-come-ups, and all of the rest of us will perish. Simply because we found a simple rule, we found that a simple tool that was handed down to us by the ancestors, by the Bible, by the Torah, by the Quran, by teachings in Hinduism and all of the other religions and spiritual beliefs and practices. They share these things in common. We abandon all of that on the altar of immediacy and materialism, destroying each other, destroying life forms on the planet, and destroying the planet. We were given a perfect tool, and we threw it down. And now we've acted like perfect fools. But it's time to change. The question is, are you ready?
Now, very good presentation there today. Good contribution there by Brother J. Dwyer. But folks, do you all think my boy Dwyer would have the conversation with the markup fella, Baby Brantley? I mean, what he's saying there fits exactly what is going on over there in Queen City, Nevis. But I don't think Dwyer will have the conversation with Baby Brantley. But exactly what he's saying there fits in with Baby Brantley. He's a kid at heart, very childish. Because as a leader of an island, such as Nevis, for him to be out there doing all the nonsense he's doing, and as soon as the citizens ask him a question, he starts cussing them left, right, and center. It doesn't make sense. Sister Skeet, you're saying when somebody get arrested for those fake marriages, you will believe the AG is serious about things. I guess you have not been paying attention. It's been several months since some folks has been arrested and charged for those fake marriages. As a matter of fact, an attorney was a part of those arrests. But there's more to come. But believe it or not, there are folks who have already been arrested and charged for those fake marriages. That's why I said earlier, I am of the view that some of those fake marriages voted in the recent election of December 12th, and we need to get to the bottom of it. Dwyer spoke about the situation with those kids in Cairn that I spoke about, fighting in school uniform and people videotaping. So you guys know how I always have my message in the music and stuff like that. I want to big up my engineer there, Brother Ike, the man Kent and Debbie. How you guys doing? The man KO. But I got to drop this track here. We got to really support our youths in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. So my folks, awake the youths.
We live carefree in this country while our youths are drifting slowly, while we're heading for depression. Don't you see a problem if somebody don't help them? They will drift on endlessly, and so will this country. They are the fruits of the nation and its salvation. Our future lies in their hand. They are tomorrow's leaders, so we must make sure that our children stand. Wake the youth, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Teach them thy truth that they might see that to save a dying world is their destiny to be. Raise up, stand up for your country. Forward on, forward on, forward on, forward on. Awake the youths, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Wake them before they grow too old to care. They are drifting, they are wasting. Utilize them or we lose them. Unemployment leaves no alternative but to walk and wander, lime teeth or bed. And some policemen are ever willing to beat and shoot our young men. Frustrated and angry, degraded and hungry, brother, they lime the street in a trance. Tell me, how can they excel in this country if they're not given a chance? Wake the youths, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Teach them thy truth that they might see that to save a dying world is their destiny to be. Raise up, stand up for your country. Forward on, forward on, forward on, forward on. Awake the youths, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Wake them before they grow too old to care. Motivate them, stimulate them to meet the challenge that confronts them. Let's not sit and watch them waste away. Let us rise and conquer greed and selfishness and make life easier, if not sweeter, for the poor and powerless. Watch our actions and our intentions, and brother, they can plainly see all that money we are wasting. Won't increase production, but will only suppress liberty. Wake the youth, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Teach them thy truth that they might see that to save a dying world is their destiny to be. Raise up, defeat them in suppression and exploitation. Let our investments be the youths of this land and all our aspirations, all our hopes and goals, and all our dreams and wildest notion, utopia will unfold. But if we neglect and oppress them, harass and abuse them, we'll have trouble in this land. With so much unemployment, there surely be violence. The devil find work for idle hands. Ah, wake the youths, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Keep them by truth that they might see that to save a dying world is their destiny to be. Raise up, stand up for your country. Forward on, forward on. Forward on, forward on. Awake the youths, my sleeping country. Wake them, wake them, wake them, let them rise and shine. Wake them before they grow too old to care.
Yes, man, this is the sound of the man, the King Short Shirt. Awake our youth, you know, we got to do the best we can in our beloved little Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. Help the youths, guide them, you know. Want to say good night to my boy, the man Craig Challenger, aka Sugars. How you doing, my brother? Good evening. Sister Rutland Hill, how you doing? The man Thaddeus Deposaw. How you doing, my brother? You know, when I listen to these songs, that's what I did all weekend. When I'm down after the depression of what's taking place in my little beloved St. Kitts and Nevis, I go into my archives and I just listen to the messages, whether it might be reggae, country and western, this calypso, it really moved me. And a song that caught me over the weekend, you know, I am hoping not only our people of St. Kitts Nevis can feel the vibes and change their ways, but the politicians that is out there doing their nonsense to our citizens, I would like them to listen to this one, because all we need is love and understanding. That's all it takes.
A better world? Do we want a peaceful world? Do we want a world that's free from hatred, fear, and sorrow? Would we see the wicked ways? Would we strive for what is right? Would we stand and shine a light, helping others come together, make life easier for the poorer fella? Wanted love and understanding, needed peace and happiness in the world. People, we could live together, you for me and I for you. There's nothing that we cannot do if we live together, holding hands, loving each other, working together. People, let's try. What a miracle it would be if we could live in unity. Love and justice for everyone who lives under the sun. No more sorrow, no more pain, no more slavery, no more chain, no more human suffering, no more fighting, no more killing, no more warring. If only we could wanted love and understanding, needed peace and happiness in the world. People, we could live together. Let us build a peaceful world. Let us build a united world. Let us build a world that's free. If only we could.
The King Short Shirt. Love and understanding. Yes, man. Love and understanding by the King Short Shirt. And folks, you know, as we're going to bring it down shortly, I just have to drop something this evening for my boy Ayatollah. And I mean, this one, when I listen to my boy putting down this song on stage back in the days, you had to be there to feel the pain and the man singing from his heart when he sing about rehabilitation. The Ayatollah rehabilitate. I got to drop this one this evening before I get out of here. The Ayatollah rehabilitate.
Yeah, man. Choo-choo-choo. I'm choo-choo rehabilitated. Choo-choo-choo. I'm choo-choo rehabilitated. 85, Carnival I made it to the finals. Competition night was crucial. The policeman, they embarrass I so openly. I find out that was the downfall of me. 3 years in captivity, for me freedom and liberty. Judge really did not have no mercy on me. Chief of police object bail. 3 months I remain in jail. Lawmakers tell me the reason I never commit murder or treason. The king Ayatollah, you must beat them in competition. Look how easy you win this small business crown. The king Ayatollah, people will say that you've been to prison. Others would say you got bad reputation. Prison warders victimize me. Cutting grass 60 by 60. Total brutality, Springfield Cemetery. Imprisonment is chastising. A superintendent humiliation. Many nights I slept on the slate. King Ayatollah rehabilitate.
Oh yeah. Rest in peace, my brother.
Choo-choo-choo. I'm choo-choo rehabilitated. Choo-choo-choo. I'm choo-choo rehabilitated. God I come, it was a perfect composition with a melodious bass pattern. Lady Diana, there was a big hit Labor Day in Brooklyn. Black unity make me a true king. Tribulation I must get, no human being born perfect. I'm not suffering from no inferior complex. No man has solved my problem. The most I just solve them. On my knees I pray honestly to get a good head on me body. The king Ayatollah, you must make it in Lion, nigga. Don't go to Europe, not America. King Ayatollah, always have ties of strong lyrics. But they used to say you scamping. Take a trip to Port of Spain. Pull back your powers and fame. Do not let good talent go down the drain. Do like Kitchener and Sparrow. Make it big out of Calypso. Prove to them that you're so great. King Ayatollah rehabilitate. We true. I'm true rehabilitated. True. I'm true rehabilitated. Great leaders and black heroes overcome the struggle. Michael Powie, Gavil and Paul Bogo. Presently, my own trying to discourage me. Right here in no land of beauty. The scripture tell we saw change, and he had a wicked name. Why not I can do the same? Committing crime I did never get. The King Ayatollah live to be a perfect example. Look at Sakura and King Pharaoh. The King Ayatollah live up to your high moral standard. Changing your attitude is essential. Who judge your love, he chastise. Open your eyes and realize. Hold to dignity, honesty, be wise. As a young man, I am capable to conquer, for I'm not in a mental state. King Ayatollah rehabilitate.
Music.
True. Rehabilitated. True. I'm true rehabilitated.
Yes, that's the song of the man Ayatollah. The Ayatollah rehabilitate. Also, good night there to Sister Celine Tobias. How are you doing? My boy there, brother Lincoln Hapson, aka DJ Rabuka. How are you doing, my brother? Thanks for all your support and everything. How is your mom? Say good night to your mom, Miss Hapson, for me, please. You know, I see some of you guys making requests for Swallow and Sparrow. I'm not in a requesting tonight, you know, heading out of here shortly. We're going to drop a track for you. I am in that zone where I'm trying to just send the message, our message. We got some very great artists out of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. We got some great DJs as well. And my boy there, DJ Rabuka, is one of those guys. I have enough respect for the gentleman. Ronnie Rascal and EK, these guys, the man Rascapi and stuff, we go far way back, you know, so. These guys are some great artists, and we have a lot of music done. We got Brother K.O. there, one of our soca artists, international standard artists, but not getting a good deal from his people. But I hope that the St. Kitts Music Festival Committee is considering him for the music festival, because that's one of our artists that can take us far. We also got a brother here by the name of Lord Kent, that folks think that is the same Lord Kent, you know, from the days of Lord Kent comeback. Now, Lord Kent have graduated. He sing everything from gospel to country and western. Brother Kent, he's another artist that needs to be looked at. We also have King Freddie, and also the man there, the Mean Green. You know, these are guys that here in the diaspora doing some serious work. We also got some serious musicians here in the diaspora. We got Benders and the crew there with the breakaway brass. We got Carl Archibald with the damaged band. We got Image Band there in the Washington area. We got our band over there in with Richard Paris over there in the Detroit area. We got Chris Martin over there in the Florida. We got so much artists and musicians on this side that we need to just utilize our people because, we're just passing through, We're just passing through. And we have a right to do what we can do to help our beloved federation and receive whatever help that our people that were elected to do to help us. So I'm going to drop this track here by the King Fancy. Fancy, so we have a right. And then we're going to drop into the closing. You guys know once I drop my unofficial anthem, the King Hour, I'm out of here. So stand by for this track by the man King Fancy. Good night, Brother Fancy. How are you doing? Everything good with you? This one is called You Got It Right.
Think it's so blessed land of beauty. Where is your destiny? For you're now the subject of much confusion, creating diversion from your peaceful destination. Day after day we have heard your cry. Citizens, you're the ones on whom I rely to restore my glorious pride and honor and the atmosphere of peace once shared by your ancestors. Oh, but we have watched foreigners trying to deprive our right, using sons of a soil or nations to exploit, while we foolishly look on, figuring that we are wrong if we raise our voice in opposition. No way! But we have the right to accept and the right to object anything for this nation. We have the right to inspect and the right to protect everything that God has laid in our hands. Oh yeah. But how can we truly say that we love this land if we stand and observe it heading for destruction? If the right is ours to be free, then tell me, then the right is ours to decide our destiny. If we have to stand up and fight, then let's unite, for we have the right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Division, you heard the message.
Oh, no lie.
Nevis massive. Gotta stand up and fight for you right here. In Queen City,
No
Nevis.
lie, no lie. Have the right to criticize things that are displeasing to our eyes, For when such things happen and we don't at all, how could we expect situations to become any better? Well, if our leaders are accused of corruption, bringing joys to the rich people of this land, while the poor continue to scrunt and suffer. Citizens, this means our silence must reign no longer. If we close our eyes and our ears and pretend to be mute, keep on living in fear of facing the truth, we should hang our heads in shame. For then you know we are to blame for sending a nation down the drain. Whoa! We have the right to accept and object anything pertaining to this nation. Tell me, we have the right to inspect and the right to protect everything that God has laid in our hands. Oh yes. For how can we truly say that we love this land if we stand and observe it heading for destruction? If the right is ours to be free, then tell me where the right is ours to decide our destiny. If it means that we have to fight, then let's unite and stand for our right. Oh,
Yes, Nevision, you have the right to inspect. You must enjoy the land you live.
Why should we as Calypsonians have to face victimization when we think of things happening in this island that affects the populace and our national progression? How when we sing to entertain, we are applauded and given good name, but as soon as we sing of this nation dissolution, it affects the populace and it causes much contention. If our nation's grievance we fail to publicize, putting our people on guard and opening their eyes, then we should abandon this stage. Our efforts is an outrage, contradicting our Indian heritage. Oh yes, we have the right to sing out. Let our voices ring out to educate this nation. We have the right to be heard. Every verse, every word on a national radio station. Oh yes, not in condemnation, but issuing advice, hoping to bring this land back to paradise. Look, we have the right to be free. Oh yes, to work and secure our dignity. Citizens, if we have to fight, then let's unite and stand for our right. Whoa!
Yes, that's the song of the man King Fancy. So you gotta fight for your right divisions. You cannot let foreigners come and enjoy a little island better than you and you don't get a chance to enjoy it. And you know, I was gonna drop that as my last track, you know, but since I see my cousin coming late, the man Everson Harris, I'm gonna drop this one for you. This one is called Lamentation by Brother Emmanuel there, the man Short Shirt. How about Sister Deliciousness Les Brown? Everything good with you? Everything all right? Gonna drop this one for my cousin there, Brother Everson Harris over there in the Toronto area. Serious track here by the man, the King Short Shirt, Lamentation.
That we are violent, Lord, vulgar animal. Oh Lord, oh Lord. And it's we who say we intelligent. Oh Lord, oh Lord. We superior, we civilize and we wise. Yet we making all kind of bomb, blowing up everyone, killing one another with guns. And who ain't got guns? Use knives. Lord, I say that the time has come for us to get on our knees. And lift our head to the trees, to the very sky above you. Oh Lord, oh Lord. And let there be happiness in our soul. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Let there be love, not hate in our world. Oh, for the day when He come down in all His glory and say, let there be peace on all them fighting seas. Peace, peace, peace. Everybody shouting peace. Oh Lord, love and happiness is what we need. No one will stretch that loving hand. Everybody sitting down under us, watching the other man. While war and crime and violence gone rampant in every land. Oh Lord, oh Lord. We say He made us above the animal. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Destiny to mold the galaxies in our hands. But I can push it up, fight. They're living and unite. No animal kill for spite. Only we humans want and live, destroy lives. Lord, I say that the time has come for us to get on our knees and lift our head to the trees, to the very sky above you. Oh Lord, oh Lord. And let there be happiness in our soul. Oh Lord. Let there be love, not hate in our world. Oh, for the day when He come down in all His glory and say, let there be peace on all them fighting seas. Female liberation. Even women want their freedom. Oh yeah. Riot in demonstration. Where will this end? If it keeps on, I can only visualize annihilation. With them guns and bombs and constant improvement and modernized weapon. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Give us eyes to see and ears to hear. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Over the eyes perceive. Lord, are trembling in fear. Bombs falling from the air, shooting everywhere. Rebellion far and near. And every day is more talk about revolution here. Lord, I say that the time has come for us to get on our knees and lift our head to the trees, to the very, very sky above you. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Let there be happiness in our soul. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Let there be love, not hate in our world. Oh, for the day when He come down in all His glory and say, let there be peace on all them fighting seas. progress has come. Every land in raw confusion, poverty and starvation, lying in the street, hand in hand with man, grasping at the throats of the poorer one, pounding and grinding him into oblivion.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Enriching justice, greed and vengeance.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Corruption and treachery. So very eminent is the order of the day. You cannot get away, no matter what you do or say, unless we need and let the nation heal. Lord, I say that the time has come for us to get on our knees and lift our head to the trees, to the very sky above you.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Let there be happiness in our soul.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Let there be love, not hate in our world. Oh, for the day when he come down in holy glory and say, let there be peace and all them fighting cease. Yes, I don't.
Yes, man, sound of the King Short shirt, Brother Emmanuel. I want to say good night to my boy, the Chessel Watson. You're enjoying the songs only because you're my partner. And I'm going to give you one last one because, you know, it's been over 2 hours and my program is a 2-hour program. I don't plan to do any overtime until such time as there's a campaign. We have to go deep into the night. I want to say good night to my boy there, Elvan Ellie. How are you doing over there in the LA area? Everything good with you? This one is called No Power, Not by Night, Not by Might. No power at all going to be with us, eh? The King Short Shirt. Oh, yeah. That's one of them. No power at all.
Treachery cease, when corruption cease, there is nothing to fear. Only tyranny will persist, dictate and oppress, harass and distress. No power, no power, no power in this world can halt the people's quest for freedom, freedom, freedom. I said freedom. spirit of revolution. We'll never bow down to my man. The quality of virtue increases beneath oppression. The more we are suppressed and denied our right to pursue all happiness and liberty, it's the greater our resistance to tyranny shall be. And no power, not by might, no power, not by force that will can still the wrath of a people's vengeance. Only when justice overlays the land and men are free from fear and free of want. When the fundamental rights of the people are not abridged, when liberty reigns, when justice reigns, and the language of truth goes down like rain, when treachery ceases, when corruption ceases, there is nothing to fear. But tyranny will persist, dictate and oppress, harass and distress. No power, no power, no power in this world can halt the people's quest for freedom. Freedom, freedom, I said freedom. No power, no power, no power, no, no, give me liberty, or give me death. Power without justice withers away my soul intent. The people will never say die, though at times we sigh and cry. And the presence of a calm does not mean there'll never be a storm. For those passed away, that the free of men who feel they are gods and we should worship them. But like the world will, there'll come a day that shall bring it carried away. And no power, not by might, no power, not by force, the will can steal the wrath of a people's vengeance. Only when justice overlays the land and men are free from fear and free of want. When the fundamental rights of the people are not abridged, when liberty reigns, when justice reigns, and the language of truth goes down like rain, when treachery ceases, when corruption ceases, there is nothing to fear. But if tyranny will persist, dictate and oppress, harass and distress, no power, no power, no power in this world can halt the people's quest for freedom. Freedom, freedom, I said freedom. No power, no power, no power, none at all.
Yes, we were there, the king. Church, no power at all could stop the people's quest for freedom. No gimmicks, no tricks. No matter what you try there, baby Brantley, the people eventually will get their quest. A free Nevis. Nevis nice and will come back to be what it once was. Understand? Folks, you know, it's that time where I got to call it a night. It's about heading to the 2 minutes before 11 o'clock here in the New York area. So it's about midnight in the Nevis, St. Kitts Nevis area. So I know you guys have to go to work. So I don't know what some of you still up. Is about what? 2 minutes to 5 there in the UK. So I don't know what Ivan Jeffers is doing up this time of the morning, but sorry for keeping you up late this evening. No choice of mine, you know, I had to listen to the parliamentary process there in St. Kitts Nevis. There was some good bills that was enacted there today. So that's the reason for me to be a little late. I want to big up my boy there, brother Alvin Brown. I hope you're doing good, my brother, the man Cabo. Hope all is well with you. The Honorable Joseph Parry, wish you speedy recovery, my brother. And it's nice speaking with you. I want to say good night to my son there, brother Jeffroy Jr. there in the LA area. Sister Jazz, how you doing? My brother Gene Paris here in the Boogie Down Bronx, how you doing? How is the kids there? Sister Chantel and brother there, everything good with you? Sister Cora Bennett, how are you doing? How about my girl there and Farrell Smith? How are you doing? Everything good with you? Everything nice? Want to big up my boy there, brother Ingler, brother Sam, Francis, Sarah Francis, the man Elman Harley, Paulette Harley, Cheryl, everything nice? But at this time, we're going to bring the curtains down with the unofficial national anthem of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise by Brother the King Arrow. Good night, Gwyneth. I hope you're feeling much better. Sister Beverly Marish, how are you doing? How about my folks there over in the Tobago area? Gloria Beard, how are you doing? Sister Brother Victor Beard. How about missionary there? Deborah Wallace. How about Roger Wallace, the man Daniel? How are you doing? How is Chanel and the grandkids there? Hope all is well. Good night, Sister Kia. At this time, the unofficial national anthem of St. Kitts Nevis. This one is called Arise. My good people, Brother QT. How are you doing? Brother Sebastian Williams. How is Etty doing? Hope all is well with my girl Etty.
Let us reintegrate and correct all mistakes. Reunification, building a brand new nation. We move on together hand in hand. So rise, citizens, arise. The country is yours, all yours, still yours.
Yes, man. Yes, folks, and that's it for the evening. Thanks for your continuous support coming online and chit-chatting and hanging with me for the evening. You know, there's some things happening in the Federation. And I know there's some media outlets out there love to say breaking news and come with breaking news. But I'm not bringing a breaking news to you all. I'm going to wait till you all wake up in the morning and hear all the news for you all self. So there will be some breaking news coming to you tomorrow at some point in time. Look forward to hearing the breaking news. You heard it first here, but you do not know what the breaking news is. I want to say good night to my uncle there, Joseph Emmanuel. How you doing? Sister Gloria Hutchinson, how you doing? Don't forget to support Gloria Hutchinson, the Smart Fit. The locations over there in the mall in Nevis, right there in Keon Street, across from the Walwyn gas station and Keon Street, close to 4th Street, also a new location there in the Samaka building and Central Street, right across from Skelec. Make sure you check out my boy there, brother Marshall's there in the Frigate Bay area. Also, brother Michael Clark there at the Jam Rock restaurant. Give them your support. Support businesses that support you, and you will be all right. Folks, God blessings and everyone. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week, Wednesday, same place, same time. And stay safe.